Welcome to HD Rare Coins, your ultimate source for rare coins, fascinating history, and the thrill of discovery. From legendary pennies to hidden gems, we explore the world of numismatics one amazing coin at a time. In the vast tapestry of American coinage, few pieces tell as rich a story as the 2000 USA quarter dollar. At first glance, it might seem like any other modern quarter, a coin meant for everyday transactions, jingling in pockets and rolling through vending machines. But as with many coins, there is a deeper narrative woven into its metal, one of history, artistry, minting nuances, and the unexpected ways value can be found even in the seemingly ordinary. This quarter, minted in Philadelphia in the year 2000, stands as a fascinating example of this dynamic, holding within its silver-colored surface a tale that culminates in a surprising collector value $105,000. To truly appreciate the 2000 quarter, we need to step back and understand the broader context of American quarters at the turn of the millennium. The quarter dollar, or 25-cent coin, has been a staple of the U.S. monetary system since 1796, evolving through various designs and compositions. By the late 20th century, the quarter had become a canvas for commemorations, notably with the launch of the 50-state quarters program in 1999, which would continue into the early 2000s. However, the year 2000 was a pivotal moment, marking both continuity and change in the world of quarter dollars. The Philadelphia Mint, designated by the P Mint mark on this coin, played a central role in producing circulation coins that year. This mint, one of the oldest in the United States, carries a legacy dating back to 1792 and has been responsible for striking countless coins bearing the faces of American icons. The 2000 quarter dollar bears the classic obverse design that has become synonymous with the Roosevelt dime, showing the profile of George Washington, a symbol of leadership and enduring national identity. What makes the 2000 quarter special isn't just the familiar portrait of Washington, but subtle details in its production that make certain examples highly desirable. The coin is struck on a copper-nickel clad, a composition standard since 1965, combining durability with a silver-like appearance. Yet, within this standard framework, variations emerge, from minting errors like doubled dies and off-center strikes to rare proof-like finishes on circulation coins. Such anomalies often drive collector interest and value. The reverse of the coin, in 2000, remained faithful to the traditional eagle design before the widespread adoption of the state quarters reverse designs. This majestic eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows above an olive branch symbolizes both strength and peace, a powerful duality in American iconography. The intricate details of feathers and texture provide a visual feast for numismatists who appreciate craftsmanship in coinage. Collectors are particularly drawn to high-grade specimens, those with little to no wear, strong luster, and sharp details. Coins graded MS-67 or above by professional services are rare finds in circulation, often reclaimed from carefully preserved mint sets or discovered by vigilant collectors. Even more coveted are coins exhibiting the full steps designation, where the horizontal lines on the steps of the eagle on the reverse are fully visible and sharply defined. This attribute is a mark of a strong strike and significantly boosts a coin's value, but beyond the technical and artistic, the 2000 quarter carries a historical resonance. It was minted at the dawn of a new millennium, a time filled with optimism and transition. The United States was stepping into an era of rapid technological change, globalization, and evolving cultural identity. The coins of this time, including the 2000 quarter, serve as small yet tangible markers of this moment in history. Market interest in the 2000 quarter has surged due to a combination of factors: scarcity of pristine examples, increasing demand from collectors looking to complete high-quality collections, and the allure of rare error coins. One particularly notable specimen, certified in flawless condition with the coveted full steps attribute and verified authenticity, recently sold for a staggering $105,000 at a private auction. This sale not only surprised casual observers but also reinforced the profound truth that value in numismatics often lies beneath the surface, hidden in detail, rarity, and story. The journey of the 2000 quarter from everyday pocket change to a collector's prize is a testament to the complexity and joy of coin collecting. It invites us to look closer, to appreciate the artistry in what might seem mundane, and to recognize the potential for discovery in the smallest objects. Whether you are a seasoned collector or a curious newcomer, the 2000 P quarter reminds us that history and value often come in small denominations. As you handle your coins or explore collections, remember to pay attention to details like mint marks, strike quality, and subtle variations. The 2000 P quarter dollar encourages us to embrace curiosity and patience, promising that within the ordinary, extraordinary treasures await. With its rich backstory, artistic finesse, and remarkable collector appeal, this coin truly embodies the spirit of American numismatics, and its current value of $105,000 is a stunning finale to its fascinating story. As we continue to unravel the story behind the 2000 P quarter, it's important to consider the broader numismatic environment of the late 1990s and early 2000s. Coin collecting was experiencing a renaissance, fueled in part by the introduction of innovative programs such as the 50-state quarters, which ignited widespread public interest in coinage. People who had previously considered coins simply as change began to appreciate their historical and artistic significance. The 2000 P quarter, though not a state quarter, became part of this newfound excitement, standing as a gateway coin for many collectors. Collectors often seek coins that not only tell a story but also represent a benchmark of quality. This is where professional grading services come into play. Organizations like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, evaluate coins based on strict criteria: luster, strike sharpness, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal. The grading scale ranges from poor, P1, to perfect mint state, MS70, with coins graded MS67 and above considered exceptional. The 2000 P quarter dollar has gained special attention among grading experts and collectors alike because it is relatively common in low grades, but exceptionally rare in those top-tier grades. The mint produced millions of these coins, but very few remained untouched by circulation. The copper-nickel-clad composition is durable, but even the best care cannot entirely prevent minor scratches, bag marks, or loss of original mint luster. This rarity and pristine condition elevates the coin's status, creating an exciting challenge for collectors hunting down high-grade examples. Among the collector community, the full steps attribute is particularly sought after on this coin. To the untrained eye, the reverse side of the quarter might seem straightforward, but a keen numismatist knows to examine the eagle's steps carefully. When the horizontal steps below the eagle's claws are fully struck with distinct, unbroken lines, the coin is said to have full steps. This feature indicates a strong and precise strike during minting, making the coin more desirable. Moreover, mint errors, while rare, add another layer of fascination to the 2000 P quarter. Error coins might feature doubled dies, where the design elements appear doubled due to misalignment of the dies, or off-center strikes, where the coin is struck improperly and the design shifts away from the center. These anomalies are prized because they are accidental, unique imperfections that cannot be replicated. A 2000 P quarter with such an error can command prices far exceeding typical circulation coins, often attracting the attention of collectors and investors looking for one-of-a-kind pieces. The coin's journey from a simple piece of currency to a coveted collector's item is also a reflection of the evolving appreciation for numismatics. In recent decades, the rise of online marketplaces and numismatic forums has democratized access to information and rare coins. Enthusiasts from around the world can now share discoveries, verify authenticity, and negotiate trades or sales with unprecedented ease. This global network has contributed to the rising value of rare coins like the 2000 P quarter, as more collectors compete for the limited supply of high-grade specimens. Interestingly, the sentimental and educational aspects of collecting such coins cannot be overlooked. Many collectors cherish their 2000 P quarters not only for monetary value but also as tangible links to a specific moment in history. The turn of the millennium was a time of hope and uncertainty, and holding a coin minted in that year can evoke a sense of connection to the past. It becomes more than metal and design, it becomes a story, a piece of shared heritage preserved through careful stewardship. Another factor boosting the 2000 P quarter's appeal is its role as a bridge between traditional and modern coin collecting. It represents the final echoes of the classic quarter design before the extensive state quarters in America. The Beautiful series introduced a plethora of reverse designs. For purists, the 2000p quarter is a last bastion of familiar imagery. For modern collectors, it's a foundational piece that complements more contemporary issues. When you consider investing in or collecting coins like the 2000p quarter, it's essential to understand the market dynamics. Factors such as rarity, condition, demand, and historical significance all play pivotal roles in determining value. It was a year of surprises. The calendar read 2016, but the air was electric with the feeling that history was being written in real time. Around the world, political landscapes were shifting. In America, the presidential race was like nothing the nation had seen in generations. Technology leaped forward, new voices emerged on social platforms, and everyday life seemed faster, louder, more connected than ever before. Amid this whirlwind, millions of Americans continued their routines, buying coffee, filling gas tanks, tossing change into tip jars, and, unknowingly, passing through their hands a piece of history. One such piece. A 2016 quarter. A Denver minted 25-cent coin. Ordinary in look, pocket-sized, lightweight. Tossed into vending machines, left in cup holders, dropped between couch cushions. But there was something different, something incredibly rare, about a few of those quarters. A whisper in the metal. A secret error that only a trained eye could spot. A defect so subtle, it eluded millions. Yet that defect would come to define one of the most valuable and coveted modern quarters in circulation today, the 2016 quarter dollar. Before we get to the why, the breathtaking value, the collector frenzy, the six-figure auction result, let's first rewind the tape and understand where this coin fits into America's numismatic narrative. The United States Mint is a remarkable institution. With origins tracing back to 1792, it's older than many of the country's most iconic structures. It has evolved over centuries, responding to war, economic shifts, and public sentiment. But one of its most interesting modern chapters began in 1999, with the launch of the 50-state quarters program. The idea was simple but revolutionary: celebrate each of the 50 states with a unique design on the reverse of the quarter. The program was wildly successful. It reignited coin collecting across the country. Children, parents, even skeptical grandparents hunted for quarters from each state, sliding them into collector maps and folders. By 2010, that enthusiasm birthed a new chapter, the America the Beautiful Quarters program. Instead of states, this series would celebrate America's most stunning national parks and sites. From Yosemite to the Grand Canyon, from the Great Smoky Mountains to the Everglades, the new quarters served as tiny canvases honoring the majesty of the land. And in 2016, the series gave us 5 designs: Shawnee National Forest, Illinois; Cumberland Gap National Historical Park, Kentucky; Harper's Ferry National Historical Park, West Virginia; Theodore Roosevelt National Park, North Dakota; and Fort Moultrie, Fort Sumter National Monument, South Carolina. Each design was intricate, miniature art pressed into metal. And each coin bore the mark of one of the Mint's major facilities: Philadelphia, P; San Francisco, S; or Denver, D. It's the latter, Denver, that concerns us today. Because somewhere in the vast operation of the Denver Mint, something unusual happened. At first glance, the 2016 quarter looks like any other. The obverse bears the familiar image of George Washington, stoic, noble, enduring. Designed by John Flanagan, this portrait has appeared on quarters since 1932, though updated slightly over the years. The inscriptions remain consistent: Liberty, In God We Trust, United States of America, and the all-important denomination, quarter dollar. But it's on the reverse, specifically the Fort Moultrie design, that the story really unfolds. Fort Moultrie, part of Fort Sumter National Monument, is one of America's most historical military sites. Located in Charleston, South Carolina, it dates back to the Revolutionary War. The coin's reverse shows a dramatic scene: Sergeant William Jasper holding the regimental flag aloft during a battle. Cannon fire erupts in the background. It's a moment frozen in time, honoring American bravery. But on a very small number of these quarters, minted at Denver in 2016, something went wrong during the production process. Most collectors didn't notice it at first. It wasn't obvious like a double die. It wasn't struck on the wrong metal. It wasn't missing a mint mark. The error was more insidious, more difficult to detect. But once discovered, it triggered a frenzy. Some coins showed a retained cut error, a break in the die that left an odd raised lump near the edge, but still preserved design details underneath. Others displayed a die clash, where elements of the design from one side of the coin appeared faintly on the other due to a die striking without a planchet in place. And on the rarest few, there was something even stranger, a partial collar strike, giving the edge a strange, off-center, almost beveled appearance. These were not simple misstrikes. They were anomalies, mutations in the DNA of the coin. And while the casual spender wouldn't think twice, collectors began paying attention. Then, dealers took notice. And soon, one of these error-laden 2016 D. Fort Moultrie quarters, verified, authenticated, and in near-perfect condition, sold for an eye-watering $90,000. Why so much? Rarity. Provenance. Condition. The story: coins are more than currency. They're artifacts. They tell stories, not just about who we were, but how we've evolved. The 2016 D quarter's value isn't just about its error. It's about timing. About context. About how a single misstep at the mint became a once-in-a-generation collectible. Today, collectors scour their pocket change for these elusive coins. They weigh them. Examine their edges. Photograph the surfaces under magnification. Every raised lump, die crack, or misaligned edge is a potential clue. And the dream? To find that one perfect specimen, the coin that got away from the mint's watchful eye. Could it be sitting in your coin jar? Your glove box? Dropped behind a dresser long ago. That's the beauty of it. It might be. Because while millions of 2016 D quarters exist, only a precious few carry the anomaly that makes them legendary. The coin sat in the palm of his hand. It was just a quarter, 25 cents, light and familiar. The kind of thing most people wouldn't think twice about. But something made him pause. Maybe it was instinct, or maybe it was years of scanning change out of quiet habit. The edges didn't look quite right. The image felt just a little off. He tilted it in the light again, and this time, something caught his eye, a faint impression where there shouldn't be one. He didn't know it then, but he was looking at a six-figure discovery. These are the stories that stir the coin-collecting world. Everyday people, often far from museums or auction houses, stumbling across overlooked treasures. And the truth is, these moments aren't as rare as you'd think. Especially when it comes to modern era coins, especially when you're talking about something as quietly explosive as the 2016 D. Fort Moultrie quarter. For many collectors, the draw isn't just the financial payoff. Sure, a $90,000 payday is life-changing, but what really fuels the obsession is the feeling that buried within the ordinary lies the extraordinary. It's the thrill of hunting. Of slowing down in a fast world. Of finding hidden value where others see none. A quarter isn't just a quarter anymore, it's a potential puzzle, a key, a clue. And in the case of the 2016 D, it's one of the most captivating clues to come out of the US Mint in recent memory. Some of the most notable examples of this coin didn't even end up in collections right away. In more than one case, a buyer at a flea market or a visitor at a garage sale picked up a handful of coins out of curiosity. Maybe they liked the design. Maybe they were looking to complete their state or national park collection. Later, days or weeks later, they noticed something strange. A bulge, a blur, a rim that didn't sit flush. That's when the questions began. And that's when they discovered that what they'd paid 25 cents for could change everything. Authentication is key, of course. The coin world relies on verification. Professional grading services exist to separate the extraordinary from the counterfeit, the genuine from the flawed. Coins like the Fort Moultrie 2016 D are typically sent off to PCGS or NGC. These organizations don't just grade the condition of the coin, they examine its authenticity, its strike, its luster, and critically, its error. An error, after all, is only valuable when it's real. It's a high-stakes process. Coins are examined under magnification, photographed, weighed, and assessed against known examples. The tiniest deviation can make or break the value. A die break in the right place. Valuable. One that's too small to confirm. Maybe not. A partial collar with a clean strike. That's gold. A misaligned die barely visible. Still interesting, but not the kind of thing that brings 5 figures at auction. For the 2016 D quarter, the key was not just the error itself, but how dramatic and how well preserved it was. Many error coins are damaged in circulation, they're scratched, worn, dulled by years of movement. But a few escaped that fate. A few coins, perhaps saved early or pulled from mint bags, retained their original brilliance. In coin terms, this is called mint state. And the difference in value between a worn error and a mint state error can be massive, thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. Take one of the most famous examples, a 2016 D quarter showing a retained cut at the 3 o'clock position, with clean, sharp design on both the obverse and reverse, and almost no surface wear. PCGS graded at MS68, one of the highest possible for an error coin of its type. That coin would later cross the auction block after a brief, intense bidding war, and it sold $4.90,000. But the story doesn't end there. Because when a coin like that sells, it triggers something in the collector community. People go back to their drawers, their binders, their old jars.